Oz, you'll notice that we have hundreds of animals. I have 80 horses over here with flies should be all over you.
Yeah.
And there's an electrical resonance that's invisible, just like magnetism, and it's done by playing around with mass. And mass, of course, is the elements of the elemental kingdom. So I have special rocks that we put here. All these rocks it takes about 2 hours to explain this place.
Sure.
All these rocks are volcanic and they hold resonance. And so resonance, of course, are very special rocks that have little holes in them, so when the solar waves come down and there's a certain type of energy on this planet, it captures them and uses as an accumulator. So I got a lot of this information from a bunch of crazy people that realistically were crazy only to the fact that they did and use subtle energy that takes many years to actually really come alive. But you notice there's no flies here. And if they are, they don't smell you. They'll fly in circles. And once you go to the horse barn now, out of my little illusionary electrical grid, you find out that the flies don't just jump on you, they smell you. And we smell like chicken to flies because we secrete on our skin sweat, and the sweat is actually not even what you think. It's actually yeast, mold, and fungus poop.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And this smell, like you can have one dead mouse in your house, and over here too, no matter what, and then you'll have 1,000 flies because they got good smellers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the Oregon generator too?
Well, everything we use here is in conjunction to use what you'd call energy that circles energies, like circles within circles within circles, suns within suns and then suns. So what you're trying to do is really get energy that can momenticize the next ring of energy and actually activate that and momenticize the next ring. So we use the earth, water, fire, air, and ether, which is the invisible. And the invisible is only used when you use zinc and copper rods, just like the copper top battery. So the copper top battery is pretty smart. And you go to Duracell and you say, hey, how do you guys make energy? I see that we buy batteries and it's got a copper top, but what's the other side of it? It's zinc and copper. So the shower dechlorinators we have too, they're zinc and copper shower dechlorinators, and what they do is they call them a disassociator, and they disassociate the chlorine ions. The chlorine changes to an absorbable organic form instead of this inorganic pesticide. And so these are the ways that I found out, very simple, and you can see these trees, look at the fruit, those are all dates. These trees, I got all these trees for free. I dug them out of people's yards, small ones, and they grew. It looks like I live in this weird oasis here, and this is what Oregon does. It makes things grow better. Why? Because it takes away this thing called parasites, because parasites don't really work at high vibrational tunes. So if we can catch a tune that they can't survive in, then we can grow, as you'll see, palm trees in the water. Those big palm trees are all sitting, those 80-foot palm trees are growing in the water. Impossible. Find other palm trees on the planet that actually grow in water. They get root rot. The vibration of the water must yield so the plants can actually exist, and the microbes can't grab their roots because they eat their roots.
And you talked about how the trees are twice as tall. Not just are they not parasites, not just flies, but they're twice as tall. The growth potential.
Think of as if we didn't have parasites. If we don't really have parasites in our body, our DNA wants to flower too, instead of getting nickered at all day long by these little tiny critters that are really, when you look at them, they're reptilian anaerobic parasites, and they need an energy source outside of the terrain to be able to actually exist. We have an energy like our sun, the cold fusion nuclear reactor. And our sun, our heart makes energy, and they find our bodies as very enlightening because it keeps them warm at a temperature. And so if we can make this tree, as you notice, everything, there's nothing that has any fungus among us here.
No fungus among us.
Yeah, everything's saying hello. And every tree has an electrical profile that's magnetic. And so all the treetops are actually touching each other, giving this illusion of energy here by the trees. The palm trees are used for one reason, is because they have thousands of roots. And so these palm trees have roots probably 100 feet this way. So all the trees, not only if they're not touching above, the grid is actually to touch all the roots, so all the trees can become one energetically. And now you've got yourself really this ether zone or orgone zone. The orgone makes the trees grow, but the trees actually accumulate the orgone to make it so actually everything works. So this is about I've been here 23 years and there was nothing here, not a tree. Everything we built. And it took about 10 years for the
Take a
organ
look
to
at
work.
some of the water as well.
Sure.
And you have peacocks, you said, lots of